Give a round of applause to her. Come on.
How's everybody doing today? Yeah, having fun? Lots of cool stuff to see? Alright. Well, I'm happy to be here. Thank you guys for having me.
So, if you'd like to ask Tom a question, you can sit down. Oh, there we go. Sorry, Tom, Colin? Right, here we go. Here we go. Straight away, hands are flying up.
Hi, Colin.
Hi.
Thank you for coming. My question is that I know that you did do a bit of research when you were playing the character of Sam on Supernatural. Have you seen the show since or followed up? I know you've been to a convention recently in the US as well for it. But do you follow the show?
I do. I'm not current with the show. I'm about a season and a half behind, so no spoilers. Even though I hear them all the time. But no, I definitely. Before I started doing Supernatural, I watched every season that was out at the time, just to study Jared's character and try to tap into a young Sam mindset. And I loved the show. I fell in love immediately with it, and I continue to watch it. I usually just wait for a series to finish up, and I watch the whole thing on Netflix, or I buy the box set on Amazon and watch it that way again. So I definitely have to catch up on Supernatural.
And Under the Dome season 2, of course, Under the Dome is based on a Stephen King novel, and Stephen King was involved in the first episode and actually cameoed in the first episode of season 2. What was it like for you to meet that man and also get his stamp of approval on the series?
Oh, it was excellent. First thing Stephen King ever said to me, "Hey Joe," he just called me by my character name, and that was kind of threw me for a loop because I was so excited as Colin to meet him. I was, Stephen King, hi sir, very exciting to meet you. And he was like, "Hey Joe, what's going on?" And I was like, I kind of didn't get to do the whole "nice to meet you sir" type thing. It was just, "Hey, what's going on?" So he's just like a really funny, nice guy. You wouldn't think that from his write, from the way he writes and such. So meeting him and kind of getting to see him on set was really, really fun. And I don't know, just kind of getting to talk with him about the first episode and finding out his favorite parts about our series in relation to his book was really interesting too. So it's a lot of fun.
And it's been kind of an interesting season for you this year. Of course, now we're into, what is it, the second, maybe third week of being under the dome,
right.
And you lose your sister.
Right, Angie's just passed, right, which was really hard for Joe. He depended kind of on her as not as a sidekick or anything, because he had Nori and everyone else, but Angie was very much so a mother-like figure to him, especially because his parents were outside of the dome, and losing her was really, really hard for Joe.
How quickly did the writers make you aware that was going to happen?
Well, unfortunately, it was a work thing with Britt Robertson, who plays Angie. She was going to do a film with George Clooney called Tomorrowland, and it just the dates weren't going to work out when we were shooting the second season. And so they tried to get her back. They tried to figure out the dates. And we wanted her to be part of the show for as long as she could be, but unfortunately, she had an opportunity that she wanted to pursue, and of course, could never ever stop anybody from doing that. But it was about a month before she had to leave that we knew that she was going to, and it was really sad. But we had time to say goodbye and time to hang out more and still stay in touch, obviously. So.
But it kind of left you with a really juicy kind of role in a sense, because you were able to have this massive, these scenes where you're angry, where you're channeling this intense rage, which for an actor can be very, I imagine, very freeing, very interesting to do. So when you got that part, how did you kind of deal with that loss? Did you research loss like that? Did you go to a special, well, not a special place, but a place in you that you could draw from?
No, I think everybody deals with heartbreak, and everybody deals with things in their life that are difficult to deal with. And I think that I've lost loved ones and I've lost friends, and I think that I just draw on my past relationships and kind of the things that have happened to me in my life, and learn that as awful it is to remember those things sometimes, it causes me to break down and be able to kind of play a softer side on screen.
Now, you've probably been asked this before, but I'll ask you, your character is very technically driven. He's very good with the technology. Is that something in your personal life you go back, or is it something you had to pick up?
I am. No, I like phones and computers. I'm really good with that kind of stuff. I'm not as techy as Joe. You know, he's more into the science experiments and such. He would be able to explain to me probably the entire periodic table, whereas I can only remember 1 through 7 from my grade school education. So there's little things and little differences, but Joe and I are very similar in a lot of different ways. If that makes sense.
Well, you bet the mix, I couldn't even get past 1. So, but in terms of the character, what do you think is the favourite parts of that character for you? The parts you enjoy playing?
I think my favorite part of Under the Dome is like, I know it's funny to say this, but like Joe's character doesn't have any parents, and so it's almost like it's like I started the show when I was 16, so I was still had my parents around, but it was like I was playing a character that almost had ultimate freedom in this town that was not free anymore. So that's kind of funny to think about, and it's also just really interesting to kind of get to be really free as a character and just have complete control over my path. Even though I have to follow a script, I still get to create Joe and figure out who that is.
Any other questions from the lady here at the front?
Did you ever have any of the, because you've been in a lot of roles, have you ever had anything that you can draw childhood experiences from and get that into the work at all?
Well, sure. No, I mean, if you know, like I said earlier, if the script, if it's a film and I've lost someone in the film, like in Leave Body Zoo, I had to be pretty upset about the loss of my mother, and so I had my mother, but I actually lost my grandmother at a young age, and I drew on that experience to kind of play that sadness. And so if there's anything like that, I mean, it's as simple as skateboarding down the street in a film. I skateboarded when I was a kid, so I would draw from that experience, so for sure.
The question from a lady here.
Yeah, you spoke yesterday about which actors and actresses you'd like to work with. Are there any particular movie genres or movie franchises you'd like to involved in?
Oh, I'd love to be a part of a Marvel film or something one day. That would be a lot of fun, or something with DC Comics. Speaking of Comic-Con, that'd be really cool. A superhero type movie. But no, I really like I really love the drama genre, but I also have my heart for sci-fi because I've been doing it for so long. So I don't know. I don't really. I don't feel like I'm typecasted in any sort of genre or anything that I'd like to be. I'd like to kind of do really diverse work and just kind of better myself as an actor by doing a lot of different things.
Question from another lady here at the front.
How did it feel starting acting at such a young age, and what advice would you give to other young actors?
Well, starting at a young age is very difficult due to the fact that you have to go to school as well as work, and as well as kind of try to maintain a normal lifestyle and with your friends and such, and that can be difficult. But I think the biggest thing is just to stay humble and realize that you and I are no different, and that's it. And the best thing I can say to a young actor is just have fun, try your hardest, and keep trying hard. Yeah, don't ever let anybody put you down.
A question from a gentleman here.
Hi, Colin.
Hi.
I just wondered, doing a series like Under the Dome, it's got a very intense storyline and there's a lot of sort of emotional parts. What do you do to unwind on set? Who's the jokers on set that keep everybody light-hearted?
Dean Norris. Dean Norris is the Joker on set, 100%. And Dwight, who plays a new character in our second season. And they're a hoot on the show. They crack each other out back and forth whenever they're both working together. Dean will walk on set and I don't know if you've been on his Twitter page, but it's pretty out there, and he'll bring some of those lines on set. It's pretty funny.
When did you all first realise that Under the Dome was as globally successful as it is now?
I think the first time I realized is when I came and we did the Comic-Con in London last year, and I realized when I was invited that I didn't know how large it was in the UK. I found out at that time the Under the Dome had just finished last week, the second season.
Yeah.
We finished airing it quite a while back in the United States, so it airs a little bit later here, and so I was really, really shocked to see that the following kind of kept going, and it was a huge smash over here. So that was really pleasing to me.
And what is it like meeting the fans for you then? I mean, because you yourself sound like you're a comic book fan, you're the person that would enjoy being out amongst the people if you weren't on the show.
Right.
So what is it like for you when you have to come and sit up there and answer questions?
It's awesome. You know, I get to hear about other cool new shows that are out. I get to hear about things that I, like, because of my work, I've kind of missed the past, 6 months or whatever it was. And so I get to hear about new things. And I also get to hear about what you guys like about the projects that I'm working on. And if you have any questions, I get to answer them or fill in the gaps for things you may have missed in an episode, or just like, why did this happen? And, I thought this was going in this direction. And this threw me for a complete loop. And I get to hear that, and it's kind of cool because I'm like, oh yeah, when I was reading the script, like I thought that was going to go that way too, and it didn't. It surprised me as well, and it's kind of cool to find the same connections that the audience members have that I have while I'm doing it.
So, I mean, if you then mentioned the writing in the bits that you haven't gone the way you thought they would go.
Right.
Is there one particular part of the show you wish you could have changed, or would you think the writers have done everything perfect so far?
I really not just saying this. I really love the direction that we're going. I think that what I wish they wouldn't do is leave us on a cliffhanger every single episode. I mean, every single episode there's a cliffhanger, and then cuts. It's crazy. I don't know. That's the one thing is that I just think that occasionally people need to. It gives people a little bit too much anxiety while they're watching it. They're like, I don't want to wait till next week, and it does me as well.
So here's a really random hypothetical question for you. If the dome was to come down and there was just zombies left in the rest of the world, which characters would you think would he like to be left with? Who would Joe like to be on his side to kind of help him survive a zombie apocalypse if that happened?
No, I think I need Junior Rennie because he's kind of a badass, and then I think I need Big Jim because he won't let anybody stop him yet, so I don't know why he'd let a zombie stop him. And then I guess I'd have to, I would need Nori Joe would need Nori by her because I need to protect her from the zombies.
I have a question from this lady here.
If you do a crossover, who would you cross over with?
If I did what?
Crossover series, who would you cross over?
Ooh. If Breaking Bad was still on the air, Breaking Bad.
They could be like tripped out, and that would be their tripping thing, but they're under the dome.
Under the dome, tripping out.
And if you and the rest of the cast would come to Comic-Con in costume, what costumes would you like to bring yourself in the cast in?
That's a good one. We should come as like a band or something. I don't know. Maybe I have no idea. I was gonna dress up for Comic-Con. I thought that would be funny, but I didn't. I was gonna get a Superman costume or something simple. I don't know.
You could all come as the Power Rangers.
Oh, that'd be good. I was gonna be the Power Rangers. I don't know why I didn't say that. I was gonna be the Power Rangers for Halloween.
So then maybe next time we have you back, we'll bring the rest of the cast with you. You can do a Power Rangers one.
Yeah, that'd be great.
We'll film a new Power Rangers music video.
Dibs on the Red Ranger though.
I have a question for a question for a very young lady here.
Who's your best friend on set?
Who's my best friend on set? Probably Grace and Mackenzie. They're my best friends. I don't have a favorite, but I love them both.
Okay, well we're going to have time for just one more question. So who would like to ask our final question? Colin.
One more.
They've gone shy now, look.
I know. Come on. Give me
Oh,
something.
straight down the front. Sorry, it's just me, I'm blind.
No, he's joking, see? He's joking.
Alright, for this gentleman here.
As Over the Dome is based on one of Stephen King's novels, are there any other books that you really like that you would like to see made into like a TV series or a film?
I actually haven't read too many of Stephen King's books. I've read The Mist, which has already been an adaptation for film, which I love. But
not just Stephen King, but like any
books
in general.
Actually, I read a book a long time ago called it's a Gary Paulson book called Hatchet, and I love it. And I'd really like them to make a movie about it. I don't know why they haven't yet. So thank you very much.
Well, there we are, Birmingham. Give a massive round of applause to the fantastic Colin Ford!
Thank you so much for having me.
And don't forget you can to Colin.